And I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be love suicide. I don't even know if those are the lyrics, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, this is something that happens constantly in my home, is my wife laughing at me because I just start singing a song and she's like, those aren't the lyrics. She happens to be someone who has the greatest memory ever. It's like a database where she can just go do and remember shit that I said from 8 years ago and just be like, yeah, at 1:43, you said this, which is dangerous. Okay. Because me on the other side, I forget core memories of people's childhood when we're like catching up and everything. And they're just like, do you remember that time that we did that? And it's like one of the craziest times of their life. And I'm like, I don't remember that. I'm sorry. I think there's something to it, like getting punched in the head a lot as a kid, like growing up boxing. Like that's one thing that you don't really want, you know. Sometimes the juice, like I wonder what is gone. You know, what part of my brain is not working anymore because of punches, you know? But what if I punched out some stuff that I don't need in my life? What if some of that childhood trauma, it just got like, you know, like an old cartoon where they just smack the side of your head and it just comes out? What if that happened? So you know what? Shout out to a little CTE. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. If you haven't been here before, welcome to the 7 Minutes in Evan podcast, where we just get silly. All right. If you haven't been here before, stick around. Maybe you'll hear something that'll just make you go, and that's enough for me, brother. It's enough for me, brother and sisters. Okay. Listen, we have about a 20 to 30% female demographic that we're holding on to by a string. Are we going to probably push them over the edge with this episode? Yeah, maybe. If they can't handle the kitchen, that's a problem because women should be in there. Hey, how you guys doing? Okay. You guys remember when I feel like everything has just been wild. Okay. First of all, I need to apologize to the core audience. Okay. Cause I've been an absent father. Okay. To the Evtillians. Just made that up, but I think it's better than the Evanites. Okay. Evtillians, I'm picturing kind of some lizard merch coming out. How dope would that be? Okay. We can play on the Illuminati of being reptilians. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that. But I apologize. I've been saying I'm not leaving again. And I'm like an absent father. I just keep going out for milk. And then I show back up, you know, the day after, you know, you had the big game and I'm like, I'll be there, sport. And then I just disappear. Listen, your boy has been at a crossroads, a lot going on, been busy. Your boy has been slinging giggles all over these lands. All right. All over the lands, doing some new things, some big things, some small things. Okay. Listen, I do it all. Okay. One night could be performing for hundreds of people. Next night could be performing for fucking 2 people, 3 people, hitting them with my best jokes and getting silence. It's a very humbling art form. Okay. To go from one moment you're performing at the comedy mothership where having the best set of your life, just, oh my God, it's a movie. And then you go over a few blocks and those same jokes are just eating dog shit. And you're just like, this is it. This is what keeps you level. This is what keeps you humble. People don't give a shit. Okay. Which I love it. I love it. Is what I have to say. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to the idea. Women in the kitchen. It's not such a bad thing. Okay. Men in the kitchen. It's not such a bad thing. Here's the thing. Like my wife and I, she has a great memory. I have a terrible memory. So guess what? Having somebody who has a great memory and someone who just doesn't have a good memory, it balances out. All right. And I think we've gotten too far away from traditions and inherent life skills. Okay. We've gotten a little wacky in America. Okay. The world has just gotten wacky. And you know what? You know who my canary in the coal mine, when I look at it and I go, how is this doing? Because that's setting the tone. Marvel. Okay. Marvel bending the knee to China. If you don't know about it, look it up. But also, since Disney has, really taken full steam ahead with Marvel, these stories are becoming dog shit. Okay, listen, we didn't know it at the time, and it's one of my favorite two-part movies. Endgame and Infinity War are a fever pitch of great cinema. And then listen, Martin Scorsese is having a seizure right now if he heard me saying this. It's a fever pitch of storytelling in the sense of over a decade build from Iron Man, Thor, Spider-Man, Captain America, all these movies, even Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, baby. It's all a fever pitch of getting to this one crazy moment. It's something Martin Scorsese has never done. Okay. He always wants to talk about Marvel killing cinema and everything. Listen, Marvel's killing itself right now because I don't know what's happening. Like, I love A24 movies. I love independent filmmaking and any kind of story. I think that's what made Marvel so good is they were starting to make like good films with superheroes. They were focusing on having like, real actors in it and let's make a real film. Like, I think The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix is a great example of making a real film out of a comic book. I think even the latest Batman, a lot of people didn't like it with Robert Pattinson. I loved it. I thought it was great, a great film and a great story. I think what fucks up is they start taking a movie and they want to put messages behind it. They want to just stuff a message lazily into a movie and not try to actually have it be storytelling. I think that's what's fucked up is you start looking at, like, you even go back. I watched this. Listen, I've been wanting to show my wife Blade, the original Blade movie, since God knows when. I love the original Blade. I haven't seen it in years. It's one of those movies where I don't watch it because you don't want it to be ruined. I'm like, I remember being a kid watching Blade in the theaters and it just blowing my little kid dick in the dirt. Okay. And I thought it was so cool. The other movies following that, trash, followed by bigger trash. And again, it's what happens when you start having rewrites and you start thinking what the audience wants rather than just making what you like. If you're a filmmaker, if you're a director, if you're the artist, make what you like and don't worry about what the audience is going to like. Because the idea for Blade 3, Blade Trinity, I think it was such a cool idea before they fucked it up. They wanted to make a Blade movie that was in the future and the vampires had won. Humans were enslaved. It was like an apocalyptic world, and Blade was struggling with his allegiance to humans. Like, he was kind of almost going bad. That kind of inner conflict would have been amazing to see. And they went with such a silly, campy, dumb movie with this Dracula. There was no point to any of it. They had like 3 or 4 rewrites. And the reason why they said they didn't go with that original story is because they said, we don't know if the audience was ready for this. Hey, you messed up, okay? Because you started thinking about it. You were trying to make a movie that people like rather than just making a movie that people like, if that makes sense. But I feel like that's where a lot of movies are going. But all that to be said, the original Blade movie, the special effects, they're not all there, all right? There's a little, it's understood. That movie came out in like 97 or 98. But the storyline is dope. It holds up and it didn't take much, okay, for it to just be a good story. There was no agenda, underlying shit that they try to stuff into all these movies now. Also, fun fact, Blade was the original Marvel movie. That was the first rated R Marvel movie and the first kind of Marvel movie that they did, unless I'm, wrong. But phenomenal. But here's also the other issue is I was reading about Marvel today. Actually, a buddy sent me an article. The actor on Blade, the new one, they're doing a reboot, almost walked off the set because Blade was the 4th lead in the movie Blade. You're going to have the movie Blade. Blade is the 4th lead. because there's 3 other females in front of him, because this is supposed to be, they wanted it, as they said, to be an educational movie on the importance of women and everything like that. This movie about a vampire hunter is the place where you're like, we want to get serious about equality. This movie about vampires, this is where we think we should really show the power of women. Why? Because women are draining? Hey, how's it going? Huh? Women are the real bloodsuckers of the earth? Is this a double metaphor here? It's just gotten so weird and out of whack. And I feel like we're in the swing back. Like it's about to swing the other direction where we stop with all this silliness. All right. I think money is going to start dictating a lot of this, because all these studios and everybody who's pushing like a weird agenda of anything other than reality, it's starting to get pushback. Like people are just like, I'm kind of done with that. This is no longer reality. I think during the pandemic, there was a lot of, it was like at a fever pitch. I've been using that word a lot today. Okay. And it's just like, I think people are just done. They're like, we're over this. There's no more. It's like, you can't play pretend anymore. Like the world is moving on. We're on the brink of fucking world war and destruction. And it's like, we can't keep playing silly goose games. We're playing duck, duck, goose. And we're like, hey, there's bombs going on around. We can't keep playing in La La Land. All right. Listen, I'm fired up. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I'm going to tell you preemptively, taking next week off. Why? Your boy's going to be out of town. Little R&R. Okay. Big projects this week. Listen, your boy has been moving. If you're listening to this, it's Friday 11/3. Your boy is co-headlining at San Marcos Wake the Dead with your boy Spencer Cavins. Okay. And it's going to be a great time. Other than that, I have some other projects going on, some film projects that are amazing opportunities. Hopefully, eventually I can talk about them. But things are good. Okay. Listen, your boy, this is the part of the podcast where we might lose the females. All right. And you know what? If you are lost because of this, we didn't want you anyway. Okay. We don't want you in the treehouse, because that's what this is. Maybe that's a good name for the podcast. Let me know. Evan's Treehouse. That could be a kind of fun name, right? 7 minutes in Evan is kind of long. And everybody asks me, is it 7 minutes long? Maybe we do a 7 minutes in Evan segment where I do smaller interviews that are only 7 minutes long, more interactive and comedic and funny. And maybe I do a comedy podcast called Evan's Treehouse. That just came to me right now. Make it the set design, some plants, maybe a slingshot hanging in the back, maybe half like, a crumpled up nudie magazine. Those are in tree houses, right? Empty apple juice box and some wood pallets. Dude, we might Evan's Treehouse. Is there already a Treehouse podcast? Dude, I'll fight the Keebler Elves for it, dude. I'm ready to go. What's going to lose the female demographic? Well, I got to tell you guys this, all right? Because my asshole has been out here fighting for its goddamn life, all right? Decided to try a carnivore diet, all right? I've been making fun of this diet on stage for years now, all right? Let me tell you guys something. It's rough, okay? It is rough on the digestion system, all right? Your boy, listen, it is diarrhea on a different level, okay? It is, I guess there's an adjustment period the first couple weeks. I'm getting close to that 2-week mark, I think, and I just hope there's a light at the end of this tunnel, because I'll wake up in the middle of the night. This never happened to me in my life, almost to the point of shitting myself. Okay, if you've seen me in the past 2 weeks, just know your boy's been going through it. If you've seen me on stage, if you see me anywhere, barely keeping it together. All right, I've been a slave to the toilet these past couple weeks. All right, and thank God I have a bidet. All right, listen, I'm running around trying to produce a show last Friday at Elevated Wellness. Shout out to everybody who came out. Okay, and there's nothing worse than being in a, where was I? Office supply store, Office Max or whatever it is, trying to print off flyers, being in a bathroom stall, no, being at a urinal, feeling like you just have to pee, and then all of a sudden it attacks you so violently that you have to stop midstream, and as if you're someone who has been captured in someone's basement and your legs are tied up, my pants down, I have to shuffle to a stall, okay? And there's nothing worse than diarrhea in a public restroom, because you know what? It's not like they have a bidet there with warm water that's just going to nurse me back to health. That's just going to keep me. No, they have the kind of, it's giving them too much credit by saying it's one-ply toilet paper, okay? It's almost like cotton candy paper that just on impact disintegrates. And I'm like, I got to go through the rest of my night like this, okay? You're putting me through this. But anyway, we'll pull off on the topic. We don't want to lose everybody with this. But it's been a wild adjustment. All right. Listen, your boy has been going through it, sacrificing, and I'll do what I have to do to survive. Okay. But I'll tell you this much. Carnivore diet has simplified the way I eat and just my life so much. Your boy's been trimming up. All right. Your boys, the muscles are feeling good, recovering well. I have a lot more energy. And I'm just eating meat, eggs, butter, and cheese. Okay. And dairy was something I didn't do for years. All right. I wasn't doing dairy. I still don't do gluten, but I was definitely eating carbs. And the first couple of days, it really was wild. Like I was having like almost like carb dreams, which are like, I was craving carbs and fruit, like sugars and everything. Like I just wanted that sensation, but that went away after 4 or 5 days where I wasn't really having those kind of cravings anymore. But it's been great eating so much steak. I've been eating like 14, 15 ounce steaks during the day. I only eat twice a day now. Just a few ounces of cheese, 6 eggs, like fucking Gaston, dude. I'll be on my Gaston-ish. And it's just simplified everything. Like I'm just eating and it's just great. It's great tasting, dude. Butter and steak, nothing better. Okay. And I'm feeling better. My stomach, I don't really, dude, aside from the diarrhea, okay, that I'm hopefully going to get out of, I don't know if I can maintain this forever. If it was diarrhea city, if I was just taking it to D city all the time, but, everything else is better. Like I don't have any indigestion. I don't have stomach pain. I don't have anything going on. It's interesting. Okay. And I would like have watched hours and hours of footage on it, just podcasts and studies on carnivore. It's kind of a miracle thing. So if like you've been dealing with any kind of issues, look into the carnivore diet. All right. I don't want to be one of these douchebags, but listen, I am in my fucking douchebag era in the sense of I'm in my fucking come up right now. I'm in my holistic hoe days. All right. Cause I'm doing ice baths. I'm hitting the sauna. I'm doing yoga. I'm doing carnivore. Listen, your boy is in a renaissance. All right. I am in the period of my life where shit's just going to change for me. I'm evolving. I'm becoming a fucking Charizard at this point in my life. Okay. And I feel like I'm in that growth stage right now. All right. I'm trying to get away from the distractions, from the things that keep me down. And your boy's trying to go to the next level. Been reading Dave Ramsey books. All right. Trying to get out of debt, trying to take back my life, trying to get out the system, get out the matrix. All right. I was never made for the matrix anyway. But it's been good. Okay. If anybody really wants to try carnivore, you have any questions, fucking reach out to your boy. I'm happy to talk about it. It's all I want to talk about when people bring up food. It's really not though. I'll be honest with you. I've tried to hide it. I haven't told my best friend that I'm doing it. But there's some hints. I'll just send random pictures of a giant plate of steak. No, it's been good. What else is going on in life? Okay. Just living outside the matrix. I think I've been living outside the matrix since day one. Okay. It's something I think about. I was talking to a comedian last night at East Austin Comedy Club. Shout out. Melissa Diaz. She was asking me questions about being homeschooled because I have a bit that I've been working on about being homeschooled and just not learning certain things and over learning other aspects of it. And it's like so true that, and this is what is dope. And this is the weird place that I'm getting to in life where I'm like, is there going to be a point where I have to homeschool if the world keeps getting weirder and weirder and more like I want to revert off the grid? Because here, I don't want to get preachy about this. Part of the reason why I want to do Carnivore was just like looking at stuff with just like what is in ingredients that we're eating all the time. Like anything processed, even the veggies and the organic stuff that you get from the store, everything has stuff in it. There's some crazy shit going around right now where there's Roundup in the veggies and people are like getting cancer from veggies because of Roundup. There's like all these crazy things that if you eat in certain products, they've been testing it for Roundup and it's like in there. So I'm like, this is crazy. So like, I want to get off the grid. It's, what really sparked all of this is someone close to me has been dealing with some health stuff and just experiencing, like doctors and different specialists and everything's about just getting you pills and, oh, you need to eat this, need to eat that, and blah, blah, blah. But it's all just bullshit. And I'm like, none of these people are really taking care of you. Like it's insanity. It's like the idea of the fake peace and stability that comes from thinking you could just call 911 if someone breaks in the house. Like, I feel like that's more is the fake peace and stability and security that you get from thinking that 911 is going to be there in time to take care of you. Hopefully. But the reality is like, it takes a certain amount of time. Sometimes they're busy. Things are happening. There's all the weird defund stuff. And then there's the other idea, this weird peace of mind that if something goes crazy with your health, that if you go to the doctors, they'll be able to take care of you. There's a reason why like malpractice insurance is one of the biggest things ever with doctors. They're so protected. You start thinking like, oh, all these people, they're here to help you. But it's like in reality, they're all here to make money from top to bottom. If I was in the business of being a doctor, there literally would be no point in getting people better because I have no patience. Then I'm not making money. And then it's like, if you're getting all these kickbacks and rebates from these different these pharmaceutical companies and the insurance by pushing certain things, why wouldn't you be incentivized? And they have such the student loans to go to school. So it's not like you can be like, oh, well, maybe they don't have to make that much money. No, they have such big student loans and everything and malpractice insurance that grows every year. And because you have to get insured for every year you've been a doctor previously as well, every time you have a new year. It's crazy, the system. So everybody's making money. And it's like these doctors have to, push all this stuff just to make money, or else they're not going to make that much. They're going to be doing these clinics and it's crazy. All that to be said, like just seeing how all of it is just like all this system and game that I'm like, I don't want to be part of it. I want to like simplify my life, try to be as independent as I can with my life and my choices. And I look to the future and I go, I don't know. There's a certain point where it's like, I don't know. I don't know how things get away from, I don't know. Part of the reason why I haven't had kids yet, and I'm at the point now, I'm ready. We're getting close. And is because I wanted to just be available to be 100% in it. Like I can't wait to be a dad. And I've always wanted to wait until I was financially good till I was more stable and figure out my own shit as best as I can. I think I'm always going to be trying to figure out a better way to be myself and evolve, past that Charizard. And, but I wanted to be responsible and be ready to be responsible for another human, to give them the best opportunity that I could. If I would have had a kid 10 years ago, he would have been fucked up. Who knows how he would turn out? He'd probably turn into some kind of superstar because of all the trauma. But it's like, I want to try to figure out a way to just make the best possible human I can, contribute. And I don't know. Shit's crazy. It's just wild. And I feel like there's so much that I'm just trying to figure out and do to be the best that I can for that little thing whenever, that happens. What are we talking about? Oh, homeschooling. Yeah. The benefits of homeschooling from my perspective of being a homeschool kid, dude, there was a lot of, shout out to my mom, because she wanted to make things, like field trips and do things and always have it be fun. And she really pushed being creative. I'll give her that. That was one thing. And that's probably my superpower, if I had one, was just being able to be creative in different ways. Because like, that's, if you don't want to look at, like, I wasn't the best at grammar and structure and everything. I cheated a lot with the teacher's editions, and it would just like feel I was a little hoodlum, I was a menace. So I was never really, good at structure. That was something that got really figured out when I finally went to school in high school, freshman year. I was so far behind. And I remember first day, I don't know if I've told this, my English teacher, I still love her to this day, Kathleen Parks, okay? Room 307, I think, 309 or 310. Anyway, she took me aside in her little office after class because we all had to write our own essay for the first day. And I remember I didn't even know where to put my name. I was like, where do I, up top? Am I supposed to right corner? And she had my essay, and it was just all red. It looked like some kid just fell out of the Jungle Book or Jumanji and tried to just pretend he was a normal kid. And there was this red ink everywhere. And she was like, okay, Evan, like, looking at this, we're really going to have to work very hard, and you're going to have to do a lot of catch up on this if you want to stay in this class and we want to do this. And I was just like, I'm not going back to the treehouse. Okay. I'm staying here in school. This one has girls. Okay. My mom and my sister were the only one at the old one. I'm staying here. All right. So I worked hard and tried to adapt, which wasn't that hard. It was public school. Okay. But as far as like creativity, like, I think the best thing that homeschooling taught me, also having the example of my dad, who was like self-employed, running his own business. I didn't have to see someone just like who was brainwashed into being like 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. And it was also, I never was doing busy work. I was always doing, like, I needed a result. So I've always been results driven versus just time invested. And I like working within that parameter on anything in life, because I'm like, why would I? If you want me to do the best job I can, it doesn't matter how long it takes me. Like, let me just do what I do and pay me for what it's worth. Or just like time invested, shouldn't just equal based on how long that is. Because you start seeing that when you go to some jobs that they're just working hourly and it's not results driven. Dude, they're like drones. They're just like zombies, just, it's crazy. But if you look at some people where it's results driven, where the more they hustle, the more money they make, they're going for it. Okay. They're doing the right thing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this was a weird episode. Listen, that's what happens. We take a couple weeks off and we forget how to podcast. All right. But listen, guys, I love you guys. All right. It means the world that you guys listen to this. I've been talking to some comedians about these solo episodes, and they are a different kind of episode for me. Even just like the organizing my mind, getting feedback from you guys, and the ability that it makes me a better comedian when I do these solo episodes. I don't know why. It had something to do with being able to talk things through, ideas, and just keep them dice rolling. All right. I know it looks like I just jacked off someone small standing behind me, but that's what it is. If you're not following the podcast on YouTube, please do like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram. I think I'm gonna start doing a newsletter. Okay. I'm going old school, I'm taking it back to AOL.com. You know, you guys can add me on MySpace and, AIM Messenger. Okay. You guys remember AIM? That shit was wild. You would have away messages and shit. Crazy times in the world. There's so much crazy times in the world. It's going to be wild, the future. Like what is all of this going to be in the future? It's going to be weird. I'm ready for it. I wish I was in the generation that would get off Earth. Hopefully one day they can just like, I can somehow be put back into a new body in the future when they want to talk to someone from this time, you know, for like references and different historical things. That'd be pretty dope, you know? Anyway, what am I even saying? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode. We probably won't have one next week, but I'll see you the following week. And remember, no matter what, I still love you.